Hey guys, Tactical Minds here, and today I want to show you the top 10 cutting tools that you will need to survive the zombie apocalypse, nuclear fallout, or the much more likely scenario, probably everybody just losing their mind, going batshit crazy from, not having any money, gas, food, or anything else. But, hey, never know, right? Maybe the little jab will turn everybody who took it into zombies. So here's to holding out hope, huh? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with number one. Before we do, real quick, as always, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Helps videos out. And also, don't forget Spotify, podcast, Tactical Minds, Raw and Unfiltered. One episode in, dropping another episode here in a day or two. Hopefully one a week. Give it a listen. Audio's a little off on the first one, but I think you'll probably appreciate the content. Anyway, let's go ahead. We'll start off with the most obvious one. Obviously, a EDC or an everyday carry knife, something everybody should have on them anyway. This is going to be your knife just used for, cutting open boxes, everyday tasks. Can be used as a last-ditch effort, self-defense weapon, but chances are you're going to be using it to cut into a lot of other things. Like I said, boxes, rope, whatever. Probably want this as sharp as can be, and it may be dull in the case that you do need it, but there's always a stabbing motion if you need it, right? So that's one thing everybody should have on them anyway. Number two kind of goes right into that. You guys have seen before. Good multi-tool, okay? This is the Leatherman Surge. Got a couple little blades on it here, saw blade, good straight blade. I believe there's another saw blade, obviously, the good beefy pliers. And this is a pretty good one, quite a bit of things on it. So that's number two. Obviously, self-explanatory, right? Saw blade for processing wood if need be, small pieces of wood, obviously, stuff like that. Backup knife to always have, again, self-defense purposes, stuff like that. Pair of pliers, help pull those thorns and whatever out of you. Always good to have a good multi-tool. Very important, right? Number three, a good straight edge survival knife. Now, this one is the Mora. I think it's the Mora Companion, but it's about $30, $40. You can get this. Again, pretty good survival knife, not too expensive. You can go out and get an expensive one, but you don't need an expensive one. This one will do you just fine. And this is going to be used for more your survival stuff, processing wood, splitting wood, doing some feathering, stuff like that. The reason why you want something like this without both edges, you want, first of all, that kind of 90-degree spine on there, because you can strike it against a ferro rod, get yourself sparks to get a fire going if need be. The other thing too, though, is because you have that top that doesn't have the blade on it, you can use it with another piece of wood for batoning into pieces of wood. Again, feathering, stuff like that, help create fires. Good survival knife, preferably one that's full tang, which means the metal will run the full length of here. Not sure if this one is or not, but preferably one like that. But again, for $30, $40, this makes a great survival knife. Little sheath, you can put it on a belt clip or whatever, put on a belt if need be, or just carry it with you. But good thing to have, must have, right? Now, next thing is going to be a actual knife dedicated for self-defense or some type of combat scenario if need be, right? You never know when you're going to need to defend yourself against a horde of zombies or just some really hungry fucking people. Again, your choice, but this will be a knife that's dedicated purely to self-defense, not used for cutting into anything, processing wood or anything like that, not used for opening things. You want this to be absolutely sharp as possible and purely used just for self-defense. Now, good old U.S. military K-bar is, again, a pretty affordable option. And to me, a good option for money. It's good size. Gives you a little bit of range if you actually need to use it. Although, to be honest, if you're going to use a knife in any type of combat scenario, just understand it doesn't matter what your level of expertise is. This isn't Bruce Lee. This isn't the movies. You get into a combat scenario and you get into it with a knife, you're going to get cut. Simple as that. But good to have, or, hey, snakes, stuff like that, chop their fucking heads off. Just a good thing to have, right? So always have a knife dedicated to self-defense that you're not just using for, cutting into other stuff. So as sharp as possible when you need be. Next thing, not a blade, but along the same lines. Again, it's cutting tools, right? Top 10 cutting tools. A good pair of bolt cutters. So you can get bigger, you can get heavier. I think these ones were like $70. You can get bigger, heavier, more industrial, but this is going to be good again. Self-defense, obviously, it need be, but this is really going to be good for, shit hits the fan, laws out the window, right? Rule of law is gone and stuff. This is going to help you, get into areas that are restricted access or you wouldn't be able to get into otherwise, right? Being able to cut locks, being able to cut through chain link fence, stuff like that. Again, help you get into those hard to access areas. Also used as self-defense as a last ditch effort if needed, right? So good thing to have. Again, you don't have to spend $70 on one. That's what I did, but you can spend more. You can get really heavy industrial ones that'll cut locks. Stupid thick, your choice, but I would recommend having one on you. Next thing is going to be some type of hatchet. Again, obviously, like most of these things, self-defense if need be. This one is the SOG, I think Blackhawk is the name, but pretty good size, pretty good sharp little edge there, little pickaxe edge. And I'm using the pickaxe to, pick at things, dig things, whatever. Obviously having this to, chop things if need be. But again, self-defense if last needed, but, good for processing small bits of wood and stuff like that. And, digging and stuff like that, trenching, whatever. And again, a small one is not going to take so much weight or strength to operate it. So it's not going to burn as many calories, because if you are surviving, it's one of those scenarios, again, everybody's hungry. You don't want to be burning up any unnecessary calories, right? So always good to have a good little hatchet. This one is not expensive. There's a lot more other expensive ones. But again, you don't need a super expensive one. Just because you got the most expensive gear doesn't mean that your chances of survival will go up. It's just good gear is never going to replace training. So good old hatchet. Next is going to be a folding saw. You guys have seen this one before. This is I think this is Rex Betty or something like that. Silky makes some really good ones. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're good saws. But again, some type of good folding saw. Thing with this is obviously a saw rather than chopping with an axe or something like this. That, again, it's going to expend a lot less calories. You're going to spend a lot more calories swinging heavy stuff than you are sitting there sawing with this. And this is just a good thing to have when you, in the vehicle, whatever, you get stuck, you're in an area where a tree is down or a power line's down or something that's stopping you from moving forward. Might take you a little bit of time, but again, having yourself a good saw is going to help get you through. So good folding saw. Next thing is going to be a good machete or a panga, but something preferably that will be able to get you through some thick brush or vegetation, okay? You don't want this edge to be too sharp because that's going to cause it to break on you. You want it to be sharp, but it's going to have more of a duller edge because this is more used for chopping. And this is going to be the weight of the blade is going to be doing most of the work there in your swinging motion. It's not going to be slicing into things. It's more using it to chop down into things. So again, for processing through heavy vegetation, whether it be desert area, mountain area, wilderness, woods, swampy area, whatever, this is going to help you get through areas that are going to be hard to access. Especially if you're going through an area, a lot of thorns, poison ivy, stuff like that. You don't want to get that stuff all over you and be dealing with another issue later. So this is good to clear your brush. However, understand if you are in a situation where you are being tracked by somebody else, hunters or, other hungry, ravaging zombies or whatever, zombies aren't going to track you, but if you are being tracked, understand if you're using this to cut your way through and blaze a trail, you are going to leave a pretty good amount of sign. So, and if you haven't seen the video on sign cutting, I encourage you to go back to watch that one. But you're going to leave a good amount of sign, and anybody who can track, even minimally is going to be able to tell that you went through the area. So if you are trying to stay off the radar, probably not a good thing to use, but definitely a good thing to have if you need it. Better to have and not need than need and not have, right? So, and this one is by Ontario Knife Company, and I think it's like maybe $40 or something like that. Not very expensive. A lot of these things you don't have to go stupid expensive on again. Next thing's going to be, like we talked about, having an axe. This one is made by Fiskars, a Swedish company, I believe. This is the X25. This is about the middle of the size road one for me that I like. The nice thing about the Fiskars axes are the weight here is like fiber, or the handle, excuse me, is fiberglass. Not very much weight in the handle, but a lot of weight in the head. So it kind of makes it for, much easier swinging, whether it's going to be side, over the top, or whatever. But a good axe is going to be worth its weight in gold. You're going to want something, if you want to get a maul or something with a splitting edge or a splitter, you can have that as well. But a good axe just to have, again, you can use that backside for a hammer. You can use it for self-defense if need be. But obviously, main focus is going to be processing wood, helping you build survival shelters, things of that nature. But again, this is going to spend a lot more calories than the saw. So that's why it's important to have both. This will get things done as well, but it's also going to take up a lot more calories. So it's good to have both things. So get yourself a good axe. These ones, again, Fiskars, really good axe company, not too expensive. Yeah. So last thing is going to be some type of sword or some other weapon. And do you absolutely need this? Maybe not, but in the words of Lawrence Fishburne in the John Wick movies, right? Sometimes you just got to cut a motherfucker. So,
well, sometimes you got to cut a motherfucker.
This is my kind of cheaper throwaway katana. This will do most of the stuff you need. It's not going to set you back $2,000, but hey, this is going to be used to take fucking person's head off maybe once or twice. This isn't really going to be meant to carrying you back. This is not fucking Deadpool. You're not an MC fucking Marvel hero. But yeah, have yourself a good little sword. If you want a broadsword or something like that, go ahead and go for that. Maybe you're into LARPing or whatever. Who knows? But and anyway, that is going to be, again, the 10 tools that I believe you must have for an SHTF or zombie apocalypse, nuclear fallout scenario. Sure, I left some stuff out, and there's probably some other things you guys can think of. Get in the comment section below. Let me know what kind of stuff you guys have. Let me know anything that I forgot. And outside of that, guys, have a great day. Stay safe, stay tactical, stay dangerous, stay up on those cutting tools and away from those sharp knives. All right. Have a great day. Thanks.